Okay, welcome back, everyone. And if you want to add to the chat based on your discussions, that would be great. I'm going to take a few minutes to just talk about what it is that makes citizenship such an important and difficult aspect of our work, makes supporting citizenship that way. Steve, whose video you saw, and I are among the people that saw the most extreme extinction of citizenship that humans have practiced in the days of the total institution, where the institution worked off the labor of the more capable and kept less able people in squalor and degradation. So lots of that is gone these days, but citizenship is still a journey that requires learning and support and careful design. And my observation is that what has created the best of what we're able to do today is the desire for more of life, that little star there in the middle, the desire for more of life in people and their families, and those who become the allies of people who count on support. So we're looking at a situation where, sorry, for some reason, there we go. We're looking at a situation where it used to be that the spirit of social inclusion, and I borrowed one of Harry Potter's Dementors here to be in the background because their function is to draw the life out of things. So people are trapped in obvious ways. But nowadays, lots of people are trapped in a way that calls for our creativity and our capacity to cooperate. There's a nice, neat picture that says that a person who's looking for a good life simply has to follow a recipe, simply has to get the right forms filled in at the right time, needs the access to the proper treatment. But actually, as everybody here knows, it's far more complex than that. And it's important for us to recognize how powerful social exclusion is in the lives of the people that we support and their families and their allies. And social exclusion has put away the big institution and the ward with the people without clothes and all those things. But it's still here, and we need to be aware of its reality. And the way it shows up is to define people with a story of deficiency. That means experts must treat you and control you. You're the possession of professionals. You're the possession of a system. You're a revenue generator in a system. And because you're a taker on public money, experts must discipline your demands so that the things that you want have to have approvals. And as we go deeper into the extinction of citizenship, you're perceived as an other who belongs with your own kind. And the more difference you present to people's perception, the less benefit you get, the less likely it is that you're going to have the support that you need to live a good life. And finally, there's the notion that you fundamentally matter less as a person, that you are, in fact, unworthy of life. And we create these conditions bureaucratically. So it's not personal. It's only personal if we decide to make it that way. We've managed to wrap up all these media of social exclusion in nice, neat bureaucratic packages so that nobody is personally responsible. Nobody is actively doing anything negative. Just by following instructions, just by doing what you're supposed to do, you're at a sufficient distance from people that social exclusion can have its way. And what's most important to me is how many people are able to overcome this. And the route to overcoming is to find allies. For some people in the old days in the institution, it was just one ward attendant, just one person who connected, who believed in a person, who cared about them. And those were situations for people with more severe impairments that were literally matters of life and death. If you find people who stand with you, who believe in you, who are ready to take risks with you, who are willing to join you on the journey, then that spiral of energy is animated by your desire for more of life, by your desire of more opportunity to contribute, more opportunity to make a difference, more opportunity to keep pushing the boundaries of what more is possible. And one of the things that we began to play with just in the days when the institutions were in decline was recognizing that you could move people out of the institution, but a surprising amount of social exclusion could reproduce itself, even in people's own homes, even when people were at work. Social exclusion could still take hold of a person, could still keep them at a distance, could still trap them. And so we thought we needed a picture of what thriving looks like. And we came up with a really simple set of words. We played around with the words over the years. But basically what we want to know is, what does thriving look like? What are the experiences that most people, nearly everybody, would say were valuable for everybody, regardless of disability? And what are some things that we could check? What are some things we could build into our design that would give us what we need to design good supports, co-design good supports? And we came up with 5 things. You can have more if you'd like. You could have more points on your star, but we found these useful over time. And the first thing we want to think about is, are we doing things that are positive to promote belonging? And by the way, are we doing anything that inhibits people's belonging? Are we breaking out of, you belong with your own kind, you belong in disability world exclusively? And we want to be sure that your dignity of a human being is respected and that you have the opportunity to be engaged in valued roles in your community and in your life. And we want to be sure that people are actually present, not just as tourists, not just as people who are spectators or customers, but people who play an active role, people who are involved in the civic life of a community. And that's not for everybody, but there are more and more people, if they have strong allies, who express life in these ways. Mattering is critically important. Being a contributing citizenship, as our friends from Community Vision were reminding us, and choosing, having the freedom to make choices. These are things that we can just look at as we go along in our work to see how we're doing, just to check. Sometimes we collapse everything into choosing as if that were all that mattered. But these things are connected to each other. They make a whole. That's the whole point of the star. So if we're going to support citizenship, we think a good way to do that is to check ourselves to see how social exclusion is showing up and to push back in these dimensions and others. So there we go. I think it's time now for us to find our way to our design teams, where we'll have about 25 minutes to see what we have brought together, what we can bring to each other from our conversations about citizenship today.